and so like the slightest movement in their book, and I've never seen them. You've never seen like a bird run as fast as they do. And they were pretty. They're pretty cool, but I've never made one that tasted good.
Ah, bummer.
Yeah, they're tiny.
Why do you think not?
We've been spoiled with the Thanksgiving turkey idea. Some 25-pound, plucked and gutted.
Yeah.
These things are 25 pounds, but instead of being 25 pounds of meat, it's 25 pounds with everything attached. So it seems like there's an enormous bird, but then you pluck it, and it's the size of a Foster Farms chicken. Mm-hmm. Which makes you wonder what the hell they're doing to the Foster Farms chickens. Because the turkey that I got, when you hold him up, he's huge. He's like 4 feet long total.
Right.
But you pluck him, and he's maybe 12 pounds, and dry and tough, and he lived a harder life than the torture bird that we buy for Thanksgiving.
Right. It's
loaded with saline, it's loaded with salt, and they overfeed them, and they genetically modify them, so they have these enormous breasts, and it's just not the way they're supposed to be, but they taste way better than turkey. That's one thing that wild doesn't beat. Wild turkey is not better than farm turkey, sadly.
So it's almost like you'd have to take it and brine it. Yes. Probably have to brine the shit out of it to make it juicy.
I did the breast, the last one. I breasted it, I brined it, and I did them in sous vide. Mm-hmm. And
I don't know what sous vide.
Sous vide.
Sous vide or not sous vide?
Sous vide is this little wand.
Ah.
Okay, so it goes into a pot that has the water in whatever animal you're cooking or whatever meat or fish, and then you set the temperature to whatever the done is. So say you want it to be 135, right? You set it to 135, and then it'll heat it up to the point where it's at 135, but it'll never go over. So you can leave it in there for a week, and it'll stay at 135.
Oh, I like that.
So in theory, it's supposed to come out, almost like a braised meat, where it's really, really smooth and velvety and moist. But wild turkeys, man, that's a rough animal. Not come out pretty. Some people can do it. I haven't got it yet.
Look at all this.
Yeah. So this is the final steps. Making sure we don't get freezer burn. Again, big part of what makes it taste off. People just they didn't do it right. Just didn't prepare it correctly.
They skip the saran wrap. And they just try to wax paper it, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, people say that like antelope is gross, but I've never shot one. But a friend of mine gave me some, and it's the best meat I've ever had. Well, that's not true. I ate axis deer in Hawaii, and that's the best meat I've ever had. But based on the preparation, and that's what those guys told me. They're like, man, antelope's great. It's really hot when we hunt them, and most people just let them sit too long. And so they basically start to turn while they're out there in the field, and you don't gut them fast enough, and you don't get it all out of there, and that's why it tastes off once it gets there, is because you're basically eating bad meat.
I can you can assembly line this a little bit.
Oh yeah. So you said you had a 410?
I have a 410. It's a bolt action. It'll hold 3 shots in it, I believe. And I have a Remington 870 tactical. And then I have a revolver for home defense, a Ruger SP 401.
Nice.
I rarely shoot. When we get into this, I will basically assume that I know very little.
Perfect.
And we'll start from there. I have most of the stuff, for Christmas. I was given one of those like schematic looking gun cleaning mats for my 870, that has all the parts already written on it. And another Christmas, someone gave me a gun cleaning kit. I do have boxes full of various shells and birdshot and buckshot and slugs and all the various ammo I would use for my revolver and stuff like that. But
I would recommend, like I kind of touched on earlier, starting with pigs.
yeah,
It's doable.
That's what I have emotionally prepared myself for.
And it's something you could technically do it for free, but if you wanted a better shot and you want to get on private land, it's not thousands of dollars, and you can get something that'll yield you a good 60, 70 pounds of meat.
Nice. Sounds great.
Get those Cuban sandwiches like I was talking about.
Yes, I want to make a conchita pibil.
A who?
Conchita pibil is a traditional. It's like the traditional Mayan way. It's like the original barbecue. Like where they do the earth oven.
Yeah.
They cover it in dirt and all that.
Yeah, like a luau kind of.
Yeah, like I've got that, just dirt. The only problem is I probably have to rent a jackhammer to do it in my backyard because that clay in that backyard is just so gnarly strong.
I've always wanted to roast a whole pig.
That would be fun as heck.
That would be fun.
I would totally do that in my backyard. And have a COVID smile jam. Backyard luau style. I had some good news. I called up my nephew Thomas, a cello player.
Yeah.
Because he's in university in Wisconsin, and I was like, hey, this guy came to the Smile Jam 2 Fridays ago. He's a director for Parks and Rec, and nice guy, loves what we're doing. He said, let's do this drive-in concert. Can I figure out some way to get you and a couple of your cello friends and have you over FaceTime, and I'll project it on a screen for people and stuff like that. He's like, when is it? I'm like, December 5th. He's like, I'll be back home for Christmas break.
Perfect.
I'll just come. I'm like, will you just come do it in person? He's like, absolutely. Thanks for asking. I'm like, awesome.
That's a really fun little interlude when he's part of that.
Oh, yeah. He's so good. He's so good. He's so pro.
And modest, too.
Yeah.
Not show off.
He's just like his dad. His dad is the smartest person I've ever met, and you would never really know it. My brother Ron, who you've met, has a letter from. I believe it would have been the first President Bush at the time.
H stuff, huh?
Yeah, thanking. It's like one of these like honor kind of letters where it's saying like, thank you so much for like some special effort, and for this it was for the Hubble Space Telescope, and it was like this whole letter basically saying like, thank you for all the effort you did to make this special interconnect between the computing systems and the lens array. Without all your effort, this would have never been possible, and this amazing device would not be in existence. That kind of thing, and like it has all this negative space on the page because it's a letter that's meant to go and have 50 names on it. And it just says Ronald T. Logan Jr. That's it. He's signed by the president. My brother's got like 24+ patents attributed to him, all for fiber optic technologies. He's brilliant guy. He's the CTO for Glen Air and Glendale. He had his own optics company called FazeBridge for a while. And if anybody knows anything about optics, there was this big company that it's still in existence, I believe, or they may have gotten bought. But there was a company in the 90s that was like a huge stock, like a popular stock, a company called JDS Uniphase in Pennsylvania. And he was like, that's where he really cut his teeth, and he did well in that company, and the company took off. So he was able to basically fund starting his own optics company.
Really?
Yeah, he's a brilliant guy.
If I was that smart, everybody would know it. Everybody would know it all the time.
Right.
Did I show you my letter from the president?
Right.
No. Aha.
My brother Ron won this thing called the Edison Award, which, as you
could guess,
amongst other people that have won it are such names as Albert Einstein, and it's like specifically for science, and it's only given out to like 2 people every 4 years. It's like super thing, and he won it.
It's like the Olympics.
Yeah.
Your brother has a gold medal.
It's like the Nobel Prize, but more exclusive.
It's like a Fields Medal from Good Will Hunting, then.
All right. Yeah, he's a pretty rad dude.
I like that one.
Yeah, he'll never hold it over anyone either. Yeah, no one really knows. So this is elk leg.
Yep, elk leg roast.
Elk leg roast 10/20. And smiley face.
Hey, there we go. Got a little character.
Well,
It's got a bruise.
so what kind of freezers did you get? Anything special?
No, I don't even know the brand. This one's an RCA. I think the one at the office is a Whirlpool. Those will do it. And so I've got 2 freezers that are about, I think, 7 cubic feet, and they are loaded right now.
Nice.
So this will fill me up on both ends.
When's the last time you actually bought meat?
It's not often, but every now and then somebody wants, like, it's hard to get white meat out of this, so the missus wants chicken, and you need to go buy a chicken.
Gotcha.
The good thing is, same situation as the rest of it is, because you didn't buy as much, you didn't buy your steaks, or you didn't buy burger, or whatever it was, you can afford the better chicken.
Right.
So you take the time, it's like, well, it's $5 difference between this and the standard chicken, but you could still buy, you save the money over the course of the year in theory.
There was one when I was in medical school and in my residency. There was this guy. He's still practicing acupuncturist in Sherman Oaks. His name's Dr. Neil Miller, and he amongst other things, used to be like the acupuncturist for all the boxers. He's like, you go in his office, and it's all just signed pictures of various boxing stars. Leg roast. That's it. Right?
10/20.
And he's also really into cooking. So while patients are down with needles, he has a little kitchen in the back and he'll whip up a little something. So when they get up off the table, he'll give them like some sort of very like fresh fish, like a little fresh food. That's just a little thing. He'll make a ceviche or something little, make some soup or something like that, or a cup of soup or something like that. All super fresh,
It's a solid gimmick.
Yeah, it's a really good gimmick. And so like I kind of do that with bread. Like if I'm on a bread kick, all my patients that day, when they get off they'll get like a little bit of lightly toasted sourdough with like a little avocado, something like that, or with just like a little avocado oil and garlic salt or something like that, or like fresh grass-fed, nice grass-fed butter, and like I'll roast some garlic, or I'll roast garlic and just spread it on butter.
my wife got into the sourdough